can you update on RDL Junior Autonomous Measurements Guide?
Start talking about it?
Yeah. Can you update? I know you and Cindy have been working on it.
So I think I have all of the images ready to go. I just need to format it into the document, and I already rewrote the introduction. I just need to rewrite the rules for the guide, and then we should be good to go.
Very cool. All right. Well, hello, Dr. Nikki.
Ha!
How are you?
Hello, Dr. Courtney.
You doing all right?
Yeah, I just got a lot going on, sir.
I hear you. I hear you.
Oh.
Okay.
All right.
We've still got another minute or two, so we get some more folks in.
I just remember I need to kick this stuff over to Robot Drone League to the West Tennessee STEM Hub. I have a meeting with them on Friday.
Okay, great. Yeah, we need at least 6 teams. We just had another RDL junior coach reach out to us, and they were having some issues getting enough RDL junior teams to commit to their regional, and so we just you have to have at least 6 just to for us to be able to break even and come out and set everything up, and then host the event. One team is not going to do it. As much as we'd love to come do that, that turns into more of a classroom session, which is okay. I mean, you got to start somewhere, right? But
Right.
for truck rentals and all that good stuff, it's not feasible for us to do that.
Each team is $175.
Yeah, for RDL Junior. You guys shouldn't have that in Memphis. You guys shouldn't have a huge issue with that. I wouldn't. I don't want to mute everyone. I'm trying to get everybody in the meeting. Say, hey, we got our Murfreesboro Regional Coordinator online. We got our University of Virginia at Wise coordinator online. We got our Northeast JROTC co regional coordinators online. We got Mr. Ian Cruz. I think Steve Wright was talking about coming in and hopping in for a minute. I don't know where Cindy is. I don't know if Cindy's going to be able to make it or not. Hopefully she is. Okay, and then we got some more UVA Wise folks coming in. I'm so happy to see all these UVA Wise folks coming in, because we have out of all the regionals, UVA Wise is full. We have all for RDL. I think there's plenty of spots left for RDL Junior, and that's even with our national champs last year, the Elizabethton teams from Elizabethton, Tennessee. They've actually switched over from UVA Wise to Mark's regional. I think you guys probably saw the emails there. They had a some kind of conflicting event, another robotics tournament that they wanted to participate in. So with Mark's event, that's good, because we needed some free slots there at UVA Wise, which would be good. So anyway, on that note, I do want to go ahead and kick the meeting off and start with, I think everybody knows everyone. We've already kind of made those introductions. So for the sake of time, I'm just going to dive right into it. Okay. So updates from StreamWorks. I know the senior interns and Dr. Steve Wright have been working really hard to finalize the field to get that ready with Ian. You want to talk about that for a minute? Just talk about the landing zones and the platforms and the Lunar Gateway spacecraft and how all the mounting and all that.
So yeah, we've been working whenever we're in to get as much done on those as possible. We have the Lunar Gateway spacecraft is being constructed. Its stand is almost is done. We just need to have a mounting place for the landing zones and actually mount the spacecraft up there. We're working on craters. We have a design for those locked down for deep and shallow craters. And we have been working on other field elements as well. All 3D printing elements are done and finalized. So the AMG has a few tweaks we need to make just due to some of those changes that we just have to make while building. But other than that, it has been really good progress.
Speaking of the AMG, Ian, so you've had a lot of coaches contacting you for clarification to some questions. We're asking if possible, please direct all your questions to the forum, or if you can, or you can always reach out to Ian at his StreamWorks email address, ian@streamworkseducation.org, and he'll do his best to get back 24 hours. If he doesn't know the answer, he's going to research it, and then he's going to start on the staff for a little bit of help. It can be anything. We've had some really good questions. Ian, you want to talk about some of the questions you've been receiving?
So yeah, I've been getting questions about the craters, especially one that I still can't quite answer is like the slope of the deep crater. Just we don't entirely know that yet. We're working to get it as done as possible so we can answer it. But it's been really challenging to answer that one, but we've been getting questions about the craters, exact measurements of some of the tasks, and a few about the starting line of the starting line venue. That's been what most of the questions have been about. And so those have been, when I do know the answer, it's been pretty easy to answer them, and asking for 3D printing models.
Okay. So if you need STL files for the 3D printed game pieces, you can email Ian and he will get those to you. Mark, were you able to get those from Ian?
I did not get a reply email from Ian at all.
I haven't?
No.
Did we just have those files sent to everybody?
I've sent you a file, Mr. Guthrie, on Thursday.
Okay, I'll go back and look. Do you know the crater that's holding the ice cubes or the ice and the moon rocks? Is it something you're purchasing, or are y'all building that from scratch?
It's being built.
Okay. And are you going to allow robots to go into that crater?
Yeah, absolutely. That's the whole task. And I'll give you guys some hints on one of the initial prototypes of the crater. You're going to get a kick out of this. They used the MDF foam irrigation tubing, and the thing weighed about 5,000 pounds. So we nixed that, and so the idea is to take a tire tube and to put that onto the mat and to secure it through Velcro, either partially inflate it or inflate it with foam. That way that the robots can still traverse over the large crater and then the shallow crater, right? Or the deep crater and then the shallow crater, and then be able to extract the ice game elements and also the moon rocks. So those are, all that stuff's been ordered. I'm not sure what the delay is. Ian, can you, have you guys tried the tubes? I know that was
we haven't been, or that was one of the prototypes. The main one we've been going with is actually drain pipe.
Yeah.
Um,
I don't think that's going to work, right? From what
We've
Steve told me.
we've been able to get it working really well.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, that's hopefully Steve can pop in and offer some feedback on that, because from what I was told, it was excessive in weight. So anyway, more to follow on that, but
We've
there
been
will
able
be
to get
deep
it to work.
traders. The point is that we got to get this out to the team so that they can replicate it, and that they'll be able to do some kind of scrimmage and practice in classroom, right? So,
Right.
all right, Mark, we'll get that out to everybody ASAP. It's part of
Ian, I didn't see your
ENG.
email come through. If it did, it didn't come through. So if you'll see it, if you'll send it again, I appreciate it.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and everybody knows Ian's email. Please CC me or Steve Wright or Julia Folk, part of the team there, or Cindy Nicodam as well. And we'll make sure that to get all the questions answered, and especially any issues. Once your team has registered, the process is, once it comes through our sales order channel, that email goes out to Julia in the RDL store, and that's her cue to start packing up some actual 3D printed items, some engineering, the engineering notebook, which you guys get a complimentary copy of every year, along with a sweet email from Julie saying congratulations and welcome to Robot Drone League, and for the 5 season of Moonbase, in which regional you're assigned to. Anika, I think you made a comment about, can you send out those STL files? Some of the STL files for junior might not match up what you need for senior, okay? So just have to be really particular about those two different ones. We don't want the juniors getting perplexed with, oh my gosh, how are we going to be able to lift this helium tank?
Okay. I was missing. I was like, I'm pretty sure that's for high school, not for elementary school.
Right. No, the helium tank for junior is actually bigger, but it's not for the drone pickup. It's for the robot pickup. So, or to
Dennis,
latch on.
Can we create some folders with these, kind of delineate which one's for junior and senior, and then just send that? Because I think that may be what the issue is. And when you're sending those files, some of those files are pretty good size files, and they may get stripped out with these school filters. We get that pretty often. So having just a link to the file rather than the individual files may be helpful.
Yeah, that's doable. Might excuse me, might get Cindy to put that on our Google Drive, or and so Ian, get with Cindy, and then that way you have one file folder. Have one for junior and one for senior. Then that way everybody can go, if they have a 3D, and don't feel like you need to go out and buy a 3D printer if you don't have one, okay? Just let us know. We'll be more than happy to fire. I think our printers at Streamworks have been working 24 hours a day printing out stuff, so it's full on. It's full court press, which is what I really wanted to talk to you guys about and spend the majority of this meeting talking about volunteer roles and some of the critical aspects of our regionals and our current resources and how we're spread out. But before I do that, we do have a new person that has just joined, and we didn't get to talk to him last week. I think he's affiliated with the Murfreesboro Regional, and that's Mr. Michael Puckett with the Tennessee Robotics Center. Is that right? Did I say that right, Michael? You're muted. Go ahead.
Yeah, hi, Dennis.
Hey, Michael.
Yeah. Hi, everybody.
You, man?
Good. Sorry I was late. I teach a class up till 3, so I was helping them trying to troubleshoot their drones.
No, you're fine. You're actually you're on Central Time Zone, right? They're
Yes.
in the Nashville area. So could you just introduce yourself to the group, and then we'll take it from there. We'll get started.
Yeah. So I'm Michael Puckett. I know Mark. Mark and I have been in this world of robotics for, I don't know, 15 years or so, I guess. And I started out in my garage and outgrew that quickly, and have started up a robotics center here in Murfreesboro. And we teach just about everything, actually, except sewing. We haven't taught sewing or cooking yet, but we teach mainly anything STEM related, engineering with engineering focus. That's one thing about our program. We are very engineering minded in our approach to robotics, and now we're this year adding drones, which we're super excited about, and just had our drone league team meeting this afternoon, and so we're just started doing our robot build. I'll be honest, I'm going to be stronger on the robotics side than the drones. This is the first year we've ever did drone technology, and so it'll be a fun season for them, but a bit of a learning curve for me, I'll be honest.
Right. Well, welcome, Michael. We're excited that you guys are here. And as he says, he's been involved in robotics for quite some time. I think you guys do the First Tech Challenge. Is that right? You're involved with First Robotics. So excited to have you guys here with Robot Drone League. And so I think your teams have already registered for the Murfreesboro area. So Murfreesboro is going to be another good competition. I know Memphis is going to that one along with Heather. Can you? Cindy's looking for us. I don't know why she's pinging me on.
I had a hard time with the link too, so I can let me see what I can send her.
Yeah, and Julie too. So I'm not sure. I don't know what's going on with Teams today, but again, we are recording this, so if anybody misses, it's not going to be too detrimental. But there is some really important stuff I do want to talk about. I want to make sure that we capture that. And last week, just continuation, a recap, if you will, of last week was basically just introduction, how a RDL tournament looks like and the flavor of it. Most of you know you're returning. Mark, I think you've been with us. This is year 4 now, right? Nikki, you're on year 2 or 3. Heather's been here for almost a decade. I don't know. Julie False is saying that there's 4 in the other room. I don't know how there's another room. But anyway, it should be for the link for today. Somehow Cindy and Julie ended up in another meeting room somewhere. Hopefully they'll find their way to us. If you guys could just keep an eye out for the invite or people guests waiting to be let in, because I'm going to go ahead and continue. And the first one I want to talk about is our regional coordinators, which we have, looks like we have 3 or 4 of you here today, including some of our junior. So essentially the roles are the same. Basically, you're the lead operations manager, if you will. I mean, you are our host. You're the person that we're counting on to be able to open the door where all the electrical outlets are, all the most important stuff that where can we park the truck at on Friday when we first pull in, right? Also some must-have items are the judges room, the volunteer room, and obviously wherever venue we're going to be in. So, all right, so everybody else is coming in now. That's okay. Admitting all. And here we go. So everybody should be coming into the room now. We apologize if the Teams meetings were confusing, but it looks like I think we've got everybody in the same room now. But as I was saying, we've got our regional coordinators for UVA-wise, Boston, Massachusetts, Murfreesboro, and Georgia. And so those are our operating leads, managers, if you will. So that's going to be our main point of contact. And that includes helping us to recruit. There's 4 people that we need at our events other than you. So that 5 in total. But those 4 people are, and I don't really want to put a priority on each because they're all important. But those 4 people are our lead referee. say this because there's going to be some training that's going to be that we'll need to engage in on maybe a separate training event. We can do it virtual, and we do have the curriculum, we have the line, we have the score sheet, and essentially, some of you already have your head referee because they've done this before. What we would like to do is train them all together so we could use some best practice and best tips and lessons learned, right? Because I know Kamal, he's been a referee before over at UVA Wise, so he'll make an excellent head referee, right? He's like, oh my gosh, what? He's
Yes,
also a referee.
I've also worked as official in ETSU. So yeah, I have quite an experience.
That's right. You've been the referee at nationals before. Ian Cruz has been a referee before. So we've got plenty of experience to help your guys. We do ask that they're adult age, right? Because you're going to be not only the kids are great. It's the adults we have to worry about. You know, some of the coaches might get a little spicy at times. So you want to make sure that they can be subjective and objective, etc. But the other role that's really important is our judges, our head judge, right? Chances are for a bigger event like UVA Wise, we're going to need a team of judges. We're going to need at least 4 or 5. But you always want to have that head judge. And some of you have been in that role before. I know, Heather, you've been one of our head judges. It's a fun job. It's probably one of my favorite jobs to do for all robotics competitions. It's just a chance to talk to the kids and let the kids tell you all about their invention. You know, what was their innovation in their creation. And I will ask that our regional coordinators make sure that we have a judges room that is assigned specifically away from the volunteer room so that they can almost like a sequestration, you know, they can sequester themselves and have some private discussions. Plus, during the process, we really want the teams to be able to come back that have submitted their team showcase videos. It's a chance for the judges to videos. And then in the likelihood of a close, you know, runoff from 2, 3, maybe even 4 teams, they can bring these 4 teams back and have a one-on-one interview. They might not be able to interview all 20 teams at nationals, but not all 20 teams are going to submit showcase videos. Generally, in practice, we usually have around 50 to 75% of the teams submit showcase. Those are a good indication of how the team has. It gives us an idea about their journey. Helps us to formulate some of the judging awards like engineering, team spirit, the professor's award, etc. Right. So, and the same thing for RDL Junior. It's just a little less on the criteria because it's a half a day event, right? So there we have it. We have the official lead referee. And let me just talk about the lead referee because obviously you're going to have a referee representative at each alliance station. So that's going to be a total of 5 officials, right? Now, we've had it in crunch time. We've had one referee be able to handle one alliance side, but unless they're experienced, they might get a little perplexed. It might take them a little bit of time to get warmed up to that idea because they're back and forth. Now, I've said it last week, and I'll try to continue to say it so that our regional coordinators, when you're recruiting these lead officials, these head referees and alliance officials, make sure that we teach them to listen to the kids, because the kids are going to tell you what task they are going for, right? And that's all on the score sheet. And we try to train the kids to help you out because we know that a lot of our officials aren't really versed in officiating just yet until you get to nationals, right? Especially some of our newer regionals. And I will talk about like our pilot regional in Boston, Massachusetts. And it's going to be a little bit different. It's going to be like your for pilots at your regionals, which were a little bit of a slow walk, right? We come in, we do a lot of hand holding that first day to get everybody warmed up. And then we get into actually sanctioned events. The next role that I want to talk about, so we've talked about officiating. The next one would be our scorekeeper. That is going to require a little bit of training. It's not difficult. You just have to be attuned, and you have to plant yourself down at a seat. You can't be distracted, and you have to one person. Well, I say one person. You got to deal with probably a few other people, but primarily your job is to, even if I come up and I start yakking at you, do a timeout. Say, "Whoa, Dennis, I need to listen to my lead official because they're bringing me scores right now, and you don't want to mess that up, right?" So it's going to be a really tight communication between you and the lead official, especially after an act is concluded and they bring those final scores. We don't want to get those wrong, right? We need to make sure that we get those right. And the last and final critical role that I consider a critical is your MC, your announcer. They can also sub in your DJ if you want to play music. We do require if you do play music, we do require that it's rated PG. We don't want any twerking going on, right? We make sure in today's music industry, I cannot believe that Taylor Swift actually cusses in her songs. I did not know that, but you have to be careful of some of this music and really help us screen it, right? We don't want any profanity in the music. Junior, I would say if it's not Kids Bop, it doesn't happen. So we feel pretty good about Kids Bop. Yes, I will share my music if I'm there, RDL approved. Some people might not want 80s rock or classic rock, but tough, that's what I play. But again, you're welcome to play your, I know some of the kids, they probably want something a little bit more updated, and that's fine too. We have to be very careful. One thing I would say for MCs and announcers is be careful of doing requests for songs, because kids have come up, "Oh, can you play this song or that song?" And we're on a pretty tight schedule. We want to get everybody out of there by 4 p.m. And if we start turning it into too much of a disco, then we kind of start slowing the pace down a little bit. So I would just caution again. Other than that, that was my priority today. Ask our regional coordinators to help us recruit those individuals. And for RDL Senior, our regionals don't start till November. So I would say that there's going to be a few sessions, especially for officiating and judging. Those are our primary roles that require maybe 1 or 2 sessions to really help train. If we have someone that's already had that RDL experience, even better. But again, it's not, I don't want to make it sound like it's not, like it's rocket science, because it's not. All we're going to do is I'm going to be sending out some guidebooks for those individuals. I'll send those to our regional coordinators. You can help find those people that feel comfortable with that role. And the type I'm talking about, an official, somebody that doesn't mind making their opinion known and waving the flag, right? It's the red card or the yellow card. They're not afraid. A judge is probably going to be your better listeners, right? And so you guys know your people better than we do. But we do want to help prepare them, all right, and make them, and hopefully they're comfortable, right? That we want them to enjoy the day just as much as hopefully that we're going to enjoy the day, but as much as the kids are going to enjoy the day. And that goes for our volunteers as well. Well,
Dennis,
yeah, go ahead.
In terms of training the judges, or really more the officials, the judges are pretty easy to do with training, but the officials, those are the ones I've had a harder time convincing people how much fun that is.
Yeah.
So, and I just feel like it's too technical. They're just not able to keep up. But I think when Quinn did the training last year, and we went through a visualization of what the task was, and talked about how to score the individual tasks, that all of my officials really were like, okay, we can do this. This is not too hard. And they all kind of settled down after that. So is there a possibility when you talk about training that we can do that, like just walking through, especially with the seniors, walking through some of those tasks and how to score them, especially the more complicated ones that are new for this year, that would be more difficult. So I'm hoping I can have some repeaters come back that were with us last year, but I don't know that I'm going to have a whole crew of repeaters that come back this year. So I may have some new ones that come back as officials. So
yeah, and that's to be expected. And yes, I like the idea. What we'll do is we'll dedicate a session specifically for officials, and we'll schedule it for an hour. But if someone's not comfortable, if they want to stay on for an hour and a half, 2 hours, I'll be there. And then of course we're going to invite some of our veteran officials in as well to ask questions. Quinn be more than happy to come in and answer questions for us. Although his internship at Seymour, he is still 100% going to be there to help, right? So I like that idea. What I like to do is break down the animation and then go step by step with the score sheet. So maybe we can have Cindy with the score sheet, and I'll do a play-by-play with the animation. And then I think like having a Kamal or other veteran officials, ask them the questions, because the game changes every year. So they might say, wait a minute, how would a team approach this obstacle or this challenge, right? So we can explain that a little bit better, because in theory, other than prototyping and just doing a little testing in the stadium, we have not had an official match yet. So that first match will take place November 1st at Peach County High School in Byron, Georgia, which brings up another good point too. If you want to go to any regional, you're more than welcome to sign up for that. It might not be logistically convenient for you to go all the way from Virginia down to Georgia. That's about a 10-hour ride. And I would say about the same thing for Boston, Massachusetts. We are implementing different resources, including personnel, human resources at each of these. So don't fear, we will have support there. But again, we're counting on, especially UVA wise, and I'll just be transparent with you. We've got a lot of teams that have registered for that event. So it's going to be like the Nationals, except it'll be at UVA wise. There'll be 20 teams there, and that's generally what we have at Nationals. So that's good. That's a good problem to have, that we've grown so much and we've got all these teams coming in. But that is also going to require heroic effort on Miss Heather Askey and her team. And so we want to make sure that we're getting in there and we're prepared. So again, I would say if you can try to make it to some of these other events, maybe we might be able to help out with a little lodging, for if you wanted to come to Murfreesboro or vice versa. Anyway, on that note, good question. And yes, we'll make that happen. I don't have an exact date for the trainings yet. I want to get that out and give you guys a chance to recruit too. You probably have a few people, Heather and Mark, maybe you could help, and Julie too. I think I saw Julie typing in some stuff. When would be a good time for you guys to nail that down as far as lead roles and just coming up with those 4 critical roles, those people filling those slots for us? Could you do it? I hate to ask within 2 weeks. Julie says, give her a week. All right, good job. But say by October 1st, would that be possible?
We could try that.
Identified?
Yeah, to be identified. You're talking about not to have the training on October 1st.
No. I'm gonna have the training in October.
Okay.
And then that way that'll give us some time to coordinate, because we also have to do some training with RDL Junior as well. which is essentially the same. It's just, a little bit shorter in duration, right? But still all important because, Anika's event down in Chattanooga for her RDL junior event is going to be, she's going to have a lot of teams there. So it's going to be a pretty crazy day, even if it goes from 8 a.m. to 1 p.m., right? So it'll be a lot of fun. But again, I'll send out those guidebooks to you in advance so that you kind of, that way when you're recruiting, you can kind of share with them, hey, look, it's not going to be that bad. Look, everything's spelled out for you. This is how it kind of works, right? Again, teachers, industry professionals, they all make really great volunteers. And you guys know the servant's heart, right? We got to find the right people. Cool. I think Cindy has some information that she wanted to disseminate. Cindy, did you want to talk about your Google Drive?
Classroom. Yeah, I can share.
Google Classroom.
I put we were actually looking at the link in the other meeting that 5 of us were in. Somehow we had the wrong link from the reminder email or something. So I was like, something's not right here. All right. Anyway, I have the classroom ready for junior and senior. And I can put that link here, or I can just send that out in an email to you. And I welcome any feedback from you. What else do you think we could put in there? So this could be like a, one-stop shop of where you can get the manual, you can get the score sheet, you can get the websites that are helpful for you. We have uploaded the videos on our RDL YouTube channel. And so just the different resources. I'm not as familiar with what the RDL teams use as far as the different robots, other than the Go Builda. I know we have other things out there. Or what you may use for coding practice. I'm more familiar with the younger kids. So if you would share some of the RDL teams, if you want to share some of the things that you use that you think other teams might be interested in looking at, you could send that to me and I can add that. So the thought is, as teams register, give the coach the link, and then you can invite, maybe 2 or 3 team members in so they have access to all of that. I don't think we need the whole team in there, but just so you have a couple that have access to everything. The score sheets are in there that the judges are going to use. So just the different materials, and any feedback or other things that you think we could add that would be helpful. If you would be interested in sharing your team video from last year or previous years, or your engineering notebook for other teams to use an example, so we could have a little archive folder, maybe that would be helpful too. So that's about it. So I'll share those and you all get some feedback.
Hey, Cindy,
Yes.
Apologies if you guys ended up in the other session 1. I don't know what happened.
Yeah.
Other than Dennis Courtney got involved, right? So
It's all right.
just know that we were talking about you when we started the meeting here, and somehow it was evenly split. Half everybody made it to this meeting, the other half made it to the other meeting. But Ian has been fielding some questions from coaches on the RDL side, specific, right, which you've been involved in as well, specific to the technical terms of, the autonomous measurements guide, etc. But one of the ideas that I think Heather suggested was to load up all the STL files for both junior and senior into the Google Drive or into the folders, and to have 2 different folders for that, so that Anika and let's say Michael don't get those confused, because junior game elements, I know for the helium tank, are different. The helium tank in junior is larger than it is in senior, and that's by design. And anyway, the juniors don't have to pick up anything with the drone, like they would at senior, right? So would that be possible if you and Ian could get together and load up the STL files, so that if teams that do have 3D printing capability, they can go ahead and print those game elements out at their at their prospective STEM gyms, if you will, their classrooms.
Yeah, and we can just put the link then to the folders in the classroom or send it out in an email. And Ian's working on the junior autonomous measurement guide. I think we tagged Anna on it, so that should be ready soon.
Okay. All right, cool. Thank you. Now let's just open it up for some questions. And let's see, I think Julie, let's see, Julie, Peach has Buckeyes. Give me a week. Already have people that want to do from last year. Good. I think Julie's connected also with some of the fine folks at Georgia Tech that we're connected with in that program. So we hope to have those folks involved with us again this year. She also says she has kids design a charging station for the day of competition. That's a very, that's another important part. Let's talk about venue setup. Heather's probably better at this than anybody here, including myself. But Heather, when you set up an event, large scale in national, Cindy, feel free to chime in. Mark, anybody that has any ideas, feel free to chime in on what all it does it take, because like the charging station that Julie just mentioned, I completely, I just forgot all about it. So that's where we need to help back each other up so we don't forget the important stuff like charging stations, right? Heather, you want to add to that? And feel free, anybody, chime in.
When we were looking at the spaces, we're in a new venue this time at UVA-wise, it's a much larger venue, but looking in terms of the number of teams, how to space out their places, and then how do you get power to those stations. That's going to be our biggest thing, because we're using the convocation gym floor for our main event. We also have set aside stations for places for them to go eat. We've got places for, I try to think about, where are you going to put your spectators? Where are they going to be? Because you don't want to have everybody kind of all roaming down through your game field. And so that's one thing, we actually have all of our spectators actually in the bleachers this year for this event. So we've got sections, and we're sectioning off where they can be in the bleachers to kind of help our convocation stuff. We're in a facility that has 4,000 seats, but we're only going to use probably 3 sections of that, just so that we can see the courts. And also we're leaning really heavy into the setup from we have, the convocation center is in use, just every other day pretty much with the event. So we're leaning into some of those. We're going to use pretty much everything that they'll let us use in that space. So to try to avoid bringing in anything other than the fields, and we're even going to use our AV equipment here that our team here on campus is going to provide AV for us at UVA-wise, just because it was a simple way to do that, and it takes one thing off the list that we don't have to think about. Then we can I'm trying to make sure that the main focus is on the gameplay, and the officials don't have to do anything else but do that. So all of the extra logistics, food, all that will be handled by both volunteers and helpers with us. We have the one issue we have at UVA-wise is there's not a lot of great rooms that we can get that are close to the field that have but yet close enough that we can put the judges. So we're having to look at some alternate spaces there. So thinking about making sure that your volunteer rooms and your judges rooms are in proximity to bathrooms. I know this seems silly, but they're in proximity to bathrooms, but they're also in proximity to the playing field. So you're not having people that are walking a million miles away to get to those areas. So we also can't, like at ETSU, we can bring the truck right into the space. At UVA-wise, we can't, but we do have a loading dock that will bring it right up to it. So we have to think about that. How do you get equipment into the space and out quickly? So that's really the things we've been thinking about. We've got a couple of different setups options that we're going to run through with our convocation staff, just to see if they have any additional ideas to kind of make it make it a much easier day.
Yeah, thank you, Heather. And how many ambassadors do you have now in Streamwise?
Well, we're going to actually have, I think, up to 7 if I can get an email sent today. We've actually just hired 3 more. So to replace our ones that have graduated or moved on to UVA. So
right, I understand. So I think Mark's got Mark's got like, how many kids you got on your teams, Mark, between the two?
Well, this year we have 15 kids on between two teams. We
Okay.
also have FTC going on at the same time. We have a NASA, the human rover competition going on at the same time. And then we got a lot. It's a hot mess over here in Murfreesboro. So got a lot going on.
Yeah, I hear you.
Everybody's busy doing something every day.
Hey, I understand that. I know for load in, we always appreciate, whenever you have 10 kids, a little bit older high schoolers, I would suggest. We don't really want a whole lot of little kids trying to lift up the panels. Those might be a little heavy for them, so just want to be very careful with that and always have an adult supervisor. We do have a truck driver who is contracted to help set up. He will be in charge of setting up the field itself, the panels, which is just, it's really a simple setup. It's just requires a little bit of navigation and kicking the panels to make sure they fit right, and of course breaking out the ratchet wrenches. And but anyway, if you've got volunteers that can help set up around 3 o'clock on Friday, it's much appreciated. That helps it go by a little bit quicker. It generally, I ballpark it at a 5-hour setup. We've had them at 5+ hours. We don't like that. We've also been able to get in there and set them up at 4 hours. Now I'm hopeful. I think I saw Dr. Steve Wright pop in, and I want to give him the floor for a few minutes to give some updates from Valley Brook, because I know him and that crew have been working really, really hard to go ahead and complete all the setups, and then also to make sure that they're modular and transportable. So on that note, 3 o'clock on Friday setup, and then of course tear down. I think our record has been was at Chattanooga, and it was 58 minutes. So it's amazing what can be done when everybody's ready to go home, right? So, but anyway, I appreciate all the efforts and the teamwork and the collaboration, especially with the. I think we have a total of 11 different events this year, which is crazy. And I think I've lost my sanity. So, but that's okay. We're going to continue doing it, right? And so we're having fun. But hey, Steve, are you there?
I'm here. Can you hear me okay?
Hey, Steve. Yeah, we got you loud and clear, man. Welcome, Steve Wright, Dr. Steve Wright from Streamworks there at Valley Brook. He's probably at home with his 3-year-old assistant, who is precious in herself. I can't see him, so I don't know if she's sitting on his lap or not. But hey, could you give us an update, Steve, on the field?
Absolutely. Yeah, the field is well on its way to being done. We've got all the props. Everything is essentially final design. We're now replicating and get to the huge number of pieces and parts that are required for these actual setups, as well as for some of the other scrimmage setups and other things we're doing. So we've been very, very, very busy. We've gone to circuit boards this year to simplify wiring. It's a big improvement. And right now we're working very hard on landing pads. We're working very hard on ping pong ball dispensers. And thank you. And we're also working on the craters. The craters have proven to be much more of a challenge than we initially thought they would be, mainly because we're trying to not overly restrict entry by making it super difficult, but at the same time, we have to make them portable and something that we can move around as well. So that's sort of where we are right now. We're the lunar orbiters. We're finishing the first one, and we're about ready to start the second for junior. Those are quite complicated things to build. And we also have sensor technology new this year, like time of LiDAR-based time of flight sensors and everything else to help us see when drones are hovering close by or landing on the platforms, et cetera, et cetera. There'll be lots of LED lights going off too. So that's sort of where we are right now. We're extremely busy. We're still trying to get out kits, and I just can't say how busy we are. I wish we had twice as much time, but we don't. It's quite a challenge, to say the least. But that's where we are right now. What we're trying to do is get to the final. There may be a correction, dimensional corrections. In fact, I can guarantee you that there will be dimensional corrections on autonomous that you'll need to know about. And as soon as we get these things actually hardware, we will be able to make some more exact measurements. And that's it from the field. Dennis?
Somebody just had a question for Ian. Let's know that Ian had to pop off and go to class. He has a 4:30 class, so I told him it was okay. But I think the question, let me go back and see what the question was. I saw it come in chat. And so the question is, can you tell us if there are any game pieces that we could purchase online, like ping pong balls, wiffle balls, rocks, etc.? I will say this. We have entertained the thought of a scrimmage field that we sell, and that would include a ping pong ball dispenser and a landing pad. But what I would suggest this: give us some time. Let us get the autonomous measurements guide right to make sure that we've got all the dimensions on the craters for both the shallow and the deep. Just know that the distance from the starting line will not change. It's just the slope of that is going to differ a little bit from the original design. The original prototype, again, from what I was told, weighed 5,000 pounds, and I think that Steve and them going to be weighted that much. Now, when you register, that registration fee of $450, that gets you some of the game pieces that you will need to scrimmage with, the 3D printed pieces, along with your, and like I said, the nice little, you to the RDL family. Now, having said that, encourage you again to email us, all of us, but for autonomous measurements, we're putting all that through Ian, and then Ian has specific marching orders to go forth, and if he needs a resource from Steve or Cindy or myself, then he can utilize us so that we're maximizing all of our time to try to make sure that we're pulling off these events and not losing our sanity, right? And so, but yeah, good
Dennis?
question. Yes.
Dennis, it's
Yes.
Deb from Boston via Texas.
Hey, Deb, via Texas.
Can we either talk offline? Just due to the time constraints on an Army contract and prohibiting us from getting access to materials because the registration is coming from the contract.
Right. Yeah, we can talk. And I know, with Boston, again, we talked about that earlier. Just know that Deb's got a really good idea with the JROTC teams because there will be quite a few kids at that venue. So, and this is similar to what we've done for a lot of our regionals in the pilot for that first day of, I talk about doing the slow walk during, a lot of these kids have never gone through a judging session. Maybe their robots don't work, so they're troubleshooting. So we want to make sure that we have enough resources to make it a successful day. But Deb had a really good idea of having stations. So, for a pilot event, this really wouldn't apply to some of our regionals that have been going where we've got, veteran coaches per se. But for a pilot event where practically everyone's new, I think it's important to have what she's recommending is stations. So, teams can come in and get familiar with the judging process at a station. Hey, this is how this works. Hey, here's a coding station so that if your robot's not quite working, we can have a session on here's how you would download your code and splash it into the robot. Other training opportunities too, like, hey, let's do a slow
Splicing.
walk on how,
Splicing.
Yeah. Splicing. Yeah,
Drones.
Yeah, drone safety. Why not? Also, how do you start an autonomous? Let's do it. Let's practice a little autonomous, right? But that's specifically for a pilot event, okay? So,
Bill, can I ask just on the people who have hosted before, because we have a field house, so it's essentially 3 sections. We can drop the curtains. So how big is the actual competition field?
anybody want to weigh in on that?
Is it the size of a volleyball court?
Yeah, it's about the size of a tennis court, and the actual dimensions, I want to say is, I have to look at the manual. It's all in centimeters, but it's in the manual, so you can actually tape it out if you wanted to. But
Oh yeah, well this is going to go into how we're going to set up
right,
the layout in the
no, I
field
got you.
house, right? Yeah. I mean, we
Right.
have bleachers, food will be in the cafeteria, and we have classrooms. So everything else, the only thing I need more specifics on as well as the charging station. Like, what are you looking for?
Generally, that is a table near an outlet where you can put a couple power strips, and then we'll put a placard that says charge station. So
Okay.
essentially, teams are going to have all their batteries there. I would suggest that teams label their batteries, right?
Oh yeah,
Because
you're talking
yeah.
Army dudes. We have to label everything or it'll walk.
Yeah, I understand.
All
Heather,
right, so
Heather,
the power strips are provided by whom? Are the schools bringing their own? I just need to know so I can tell them.
generally, that is the host.
Okay, well we're poor, so
If
I'll
you
tell
don't
them they
have-
got to bring their own power strips.
Well, no, if you don't have them, you have, and we generally have those on the truck. So no need to worry about that.
No, we have them, but the school was built in 1970, so we'll get it.
Okay. Mark or Heather or other regional partners, anyone want to weigh in on that?
Our school was built in 1950, so I understand power and everything like that. 100%. We'll do. Last year we only had 4 or 5 teams show up, so it was okay. We were able to get power to everyone. If we see that an issue this year, we have classrooms right across from our gym that we'll designate as a pit area, and we'll have plugins there that people can use. And we have a hallway that we'll figure it out once everybody gets there. Worst case scenario, we go to a common area where there's much more room. We'll see how many teams register. We'll figure it out from there, but I think we'll be okay with that.
Yeah, I think you're at 7 teams, Mark. Last time I checked, with
that's good.
With John Lee bringing his 2 teams down from Elizabethton.
My 2 teams is including that as well.
I don't think. Yeah, that's with your 2 teams, Memphis, and then Michael's got a team. Yeah, and I want to say there's somebody else that's coming to your event. I'll have to look at the registration, but I think you're in good shape. I'd like to get up over 10. That'd be really good.
Was there Laverne High School? Did they contact you at all?
I don't think so.
I'll reach back out to her because she asked about participating. I'll reach back out to her about that.
Yeah, and if you have any JROTC schools, specifically Army, they've been hard. So just let them know that they could probably contact headquarters and might get some extra money. Heather, anything else to add to power? I mean, kind of talked about that.
Well, if you don't provide the station, they're gonna find power. So it may not be safe. That's the reason I'm cautious about bringing their own power strips. It's just because if you don't have them plug in because they'll lay them across everything, and so you have trip hazards. So we're kind of in a situation where we have lots of power, but it's all on the floor. So I've got to check with my people to make sure we leave, because they'll cover the floors in the gym, and then I've got to find where those hubs are for power. So we may have it may be an interesting year for power at UBOYs too. But yeah, I would definitely mark those. Cones are good if you can, but if you can tape it down somewhere, or if you can put it against the wall, put your charging cables against the wall so there's not a situation where you have cables running across the floor. That's usually the biggest thing. Is those trip hazards.
Yeah, and thank you for mentioning that. Let me add one other important person that needs to be in your volunteer list, and that's your safety. That's usually it's me or Heather or Mark or one of the regional coordinators that's wearing the safety hat as well. But especially for a larger event, you probably want to have someone dedicated to that. Trip hazards, if you get some gaffing tape, we usually bring rolls of that stuff, but I insist on trying to take down all your electrical cords and just telling the kids, they get excited and they want to run around like they're running around a swimming pool. Same principle applies. Don't run, right? Walk with purpose so that you can be safe. But the thought of a kid tripping,
yeah, also
especially with a robot or a drone in their hand.
Spills, making sure that you've got a plan to pick up spills really quick, because that can get into a fall hazard. Having a place for them to fly to test their drones or the robots that's not in the main drag in the pit areas.
Yeah.
That's something we're working on where that's going to be. We had a problem with that in our previous location. They ended up co-opting our baseball team's batting cage, which was not really a good thing. We're glad that nobody had any damage to the batting cage, because I did not have the budget to replace it.
And on that note, I'll end it with when you talk about safety, we have had a LiPo battery fire at Nationals, not this past season, but the season prior to that. It was a small fire that burned a hole in one of the mats at the gym, at the old gym. They had to replace that. But we do have the LiPo emergency battery blanket at the drive stations, just specifically for that, and that a battery will catch fire. So that although we don't anticipate it happening, it's kind of like pulling the life preserver out of the bottom of the airplane seat, right? To have maybe a LiPo battery blanket or a fire extinguisher on hand or first aid kit. If one of your parents is a nurse or a EMT or a paramedic, it's always good. I've had doing robotics events for so long, kids going back in Paulson, always professional the stands to help out. For bigger events, you need security. If anybody has any concerns over background screening, let me know, because we will need the process for YPP, Youth Protection Program, part of our policy. If they are affiliated with a school, they're a school employee and they've been screened, or if they work at an industry place, just kind of let us know. And I'll tell you what, we have accomplished a lot. I will hang on this call for a bit if you want to talk or just chat or get caught up on life in general. But if you want anything specific that you want to talk about as far as RDL regionals and the preparation that we're making, we want to make these the best events for these kids because they deserve our best. That's a lot of effort. I know Steve has trying to get these fields ready. So I want everybody to give him a round of applause. Plus, I want everybody to bring him 3 or 4 dozen cookies when you see him, because this guy is doing it for. We appreciate that, and in the meeting. On that note, I'm going to stop recording. But if anybody has anything, me or some of the other staff, just let me know. Okay?
Dennis, thank you.
Yes, go ahead. Go
Just
ahead.
repeat what you said about the background checks, because your sound was coming in and out. So I wasn't hearing
Okay.
that last